Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Hi.
What's going on?
I have the honor of interviewing tonight Mr. Jay Jackson. What's up, Jay? How you doing?
What's going on, Kay? I'm good. How are you?
Man, I can't call it. I'm excited to be interviewing you. You know why?
I have no idea, but I'm sure you're going to tell me what's going on.
Well, because you're awesome and because you are an amazing single dad. The guys have been asking me, Kaywanda, when are you going to get more content for us? And when I met you, I was like, oh my God, he is exactly who I want to introduce the fellas to. And we know life isn't perfect, but you're out here doing the doggone thing. And I'm just so thankful you're allowing me to interview you for the Successful Single Dad series right here on kwandalamb.com. So, I want to start off by allowing you to tell the people who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, so I am Jay Jackson. I am a military veteran. I am a single dad. I am a success and business coach. I help leaders and entrepreneurs increase their impact and profits. And I've got my hands on a few other products and services and things like that, and things I do in the community.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, former veteran. I want to go ahead and dig into it. I love doing this series called The Successful Single Mom and The Successful Single Dad. Not so much that, oh, we're big millionaires, big billionaires. I don't mean in that way, although money is important. I mean as far as being able to organize and balance life, raise great babies, and still find space and time for you to chase your dreams and to do what it takes to make sure that everybody gets what they need. So much, I think, comes at us as moms and even as dads that says, take care of the family, do this, do that. And it's always, but what about me? What about my goals? What about my dreams? It's like it's always sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Well, I love when I see people like you who are able to say, you know what? I'm a great provider. I'm a great father, but there's also more to Jay. Let me show you how I give back in the community. Let me show you how I help others elevate. And so I want to dig into it and say, what do you do on a day-to-day basis that helps you stay organized? It helps you, run your life. I know you have some background in the military, right? And I'm sure
Uh,
it plays a part. But one of the things I always like to ask is, what's the day-to-day look like, especially since you're an entrepreneur and you're raising is he 15 or 16?
he's
What's
15.
that? 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the day-to-day look like, and what do you have in place that helps you be successful?
Well, one of the things that you brought up is, my time in the military. And I tell people that my time in the military had so many different benefits for me simply because it did teach me the importance of discipline, the importance of habits, the importance of structure. And I know a lot of us don't want to feel as if we have to have a structured life. But I tell you, without that structure, without that discipline, without those healthy habits, it's impossible for you to be successful. So I guess a couple of the things that I've done, the number one major thing that I've done is my calendar. So like my phone calendar is my life. It keeps me structured. If it doesn't get put on my calendar, it doesn't get done. I recently hired an assistant to take care of some of the administrative tasks and things like that so that I can have more free time to, go out and be in front of clients or, do projects or whatever in the community. But my calendar is a major piece. There's also Evernote. Evernote's a major piece of how I make sure I stay structured and keep track of what projects I'm working on, different files and things of that nature. And no 2 days are alike, Kaywanda, I'll be honest with you. So what I had to really start doing is I had to block, my day. So for example, I've built in a 4-day work week. So on Mondays and Fridays, I don't give anybody access to me. So for example, clients, I only see them Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings after 7 p.m. Um,
Hmm.
so what I mean is, so throughout the course of the day, that's my time to, whether it's interviewing people or, working on business systems and automation within my business. And then from 5 to 7 p.m., that's just my son time. I pick him up from band. We cook dinner. We talk about his day, what, great things happened, during school or while at band practice or whatever challenges, he might be facing. And, we just, everything's a learning process and we just kind of hang out and chill and get to know each other a little bit better.
I love it. I love it. We know we have dads. That's some good information. You use your calendar, you use Evernote. Wow, I love it. So you're straight organized and you've been able to build in times that are for you. And then you have your day structure so that you can spend time with your son and really be present. Now, what do you say for that dad who, isn't an entrepreneur, can't kind of control his day? He has a regular work day. He's got to get up in the morning. Maybe he has girls, and he has to get them to two different schools like I had last year. I had the middle school and the high school. I'm so excited that, year before last, I'm so excited that both my boys are in high school. And so, what do you say to the guy who's like, I was in the military. I'm still trying to get a grasp on this, time for whatever reason. He's found himself a single dad. What would you say that he needs to do to sit down and get structured and get organized? What would you say, just a few quick tips besides have the calendar, have Evernote, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
well,
so easy. How do I use these things?
right, right. So, well, let me back up a little bit. So, I also have my daughter who now lives with my ex-wife. So, I do have some experience with having my daughter live here with us as well. So, I know about trying to comb hair. I know about her first time she ever, had her first little cycle, and I'm panicking, running to Kroger at 10 o'clock at night, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So, I do have a little experience with that. But I will say to any of the men who are
Mm-hmm.
single dads, whether you have your daughters or your sons, I will say you can control your day. You can control your time. So one of the things that I had to learn is to figure out how do I incorporate their activities into my day-to-day life to kind of make it, a seamless transition with everything that we have going on. Communication is very, very important. I know this is really, difficult the younger that they are.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I had to start, talking to my kids about is, hey guys, daddy has a lot going on as well. And it's difficult for me to just drop the ball and, run off and do whatever it is that you guys need to be, have done. So just talk to me, 2 days in advance, 3 days in advance. And again, when you first start out, it's difficult for them to kind of grasp, I got to tell daddy this 3 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
But if you start communicating with your kids and just, helping them see and understand the importance of letting you know things a little bit, in advance, that way you can then go back, plug it into your calendar, whatever app or system you use. If you use Evernote or something else, I know there are tons of them out there, but whatever system that you decide to develop to keep everything structured and organized. And I'll even say this, add them or allow them to assist you with
Mm-hmm.
the structure and the development of the calendar and whatever systems you guys are going to create, whether it's what time you're going to cook dinner. So if they're involved in the cooking of dinner process, the cleaning of house process, so on and so forth, they feel like they're contributing and they feel as if, hey, they're responsible for ensuring the success of the household. And when I've realized when you do that, they actually buy in a lot faster and they become committed because they're like, hey, I saw where we once were. And I can see how we're making this progress. And then they'll start to develop their own vision and say, well, look, if we continue with this, imagine how much better things would be.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I've been talking a lot about organization and getting the kids involved. And so I love that you just said that because it's so true. Now, they may not love it. They might not ever get to the point where they love cleaning and cooking, but it allows them to see how this goes because one day it's going to be on them. One day dad's not going to be there. They're going to be adults and they got to figure it out. And so I love that you're doing that. So those are some great tips. Okay, so let's get into why I consider you a successful single dad. You hit on it just a little bit earlier. So you're raising your family and you're also rocking out your dreams. One of my mottos over here is at kaywandalamb.com is do it anyway. And 17 years ago, when I was staring down, the corridor of time thinking, me and this dude just might not make it. I might not be able to make it through this. I tried 2 or 3 years. I tried.
Right.
So what is it? I was like, what is it going to look like if I have to end up doing this by myself? And eventually it came. I didn't know back then that I would do all the things that I've done. To me, it's successful. To others, it might be, that's normal. But I had this motto that said, I'm going to do it anyway. I decided, doggone it, me and these babies are going to make it. And so you have decided that, right? You know, you were married, something didn't work out, but you're in your kid's life. You're not using that cop out that some people use. I've talked to you so many times before. I know how much you love your kids. It's so refreshing, and it's so good to see a man that wants to be there. And I know many do, but you didn't let, you know, the distance or whatever it was stop you from being present and being there to help raise your daughter and your son. And so let's talk a little bit about how you got into running your business. Maximum Potential Academy, correct, is the name of one of your businesses?
Yes.
Yes. And so how did you, you know, even get the idea to want to start that? Because, you know, one of the things that I love bringing up over on my side of the world is that we can raise great babies and we can chase our dreams. And so you're doing that. You do that every day when you help clients. And when you're done helping those clients, because you've organized your time, you've structured your life, you can then be a present dad. So tell us a little bit about how Maximum Potential Academy came about, and give us some tidbits in there as far as, you know, being successful as an entrepreneur.
So the academy came about because I realized that there are just different tiers of people, whether it's, you know, their socioeconomic background, education level, and even a desire to get success tips for your life or even your business. And so just for me, I kept coming across people who would say, you know, hey, look, I can't afford to work with you one-on-one. And as you know, and most people who are probably watching this or listening to this know, as an entrepreneur, your time is your most, you know, valuable resource. So, you know, part of my heart was, you know, how do I create a product or a service that allows me to be able to serve everybody? Because, you know, if you can't afford, you know, whether it's $19.99 a month or $29.99 a month, you know, I get it, I understand it, but it requires a mindset shift to say, hey, look, I'm going to sacrifice maybe getting my nails done, you know, every week, or get my hair done twice a month, or whatever, you know, whatever the system and cycle is. Or, hey, I might have to sacrifice going to Buffalo Wild Wings and stay at the crib this time and watch that game, so that I can, you know, afford this $19.99 or $29.99 a month to get this online university and have access to this knowledge, wisdom, and nuggets to be able to change and transform my life, change and transform my business. So that's really where it came from, you know, just me trying to figure out how can I, you know, what other tier or what other product or service can I provide to those people who can't sit down and invest the amount of money that it takes to work with you one-on-one.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And so earlier in the week I was talking to you, I remember you said you structure your days to where you have certain days that are work days and certain days that are built in for you. I think that, you know, even if, you know, dads are watching, moms are watching, that aren't entrepreneurs, I think that there's so much wisdom in taking out time for you. I talk about it a lot. It's called self-care. I know as a man, you're probably like, I don't call it self-care, but it's so important to be able to have that time to refresh and to reset. And so tell the fellas out there a little bit about why you do that and why you think it's important, especially as a single dad, to just have some me time in your schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to the, you know, when you get on the aircraft and the flight attendant says, put on your oxygen mask first before you try to help anybody else. And that's really what we call it, me time, self-care, whatever. You have to take care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else if you're not happy, if you're not whole, if you don't feel complete. So that's exactly why I do it. That includes my gym time. So every single morning, my first alarm clock goes off at 4:30, and I pray and meditate from 4:30 to 5. At 5 o'clock, I'm up out of bed. By 5:20, I'm in the gym and I'm getting my grind on. And that's part of, you know, my me time. And that just allows me, you know, of course, you know, physical activity reduces your stress, gets the endorphins pumping in your brain to, you know, help you have more clarity, make sharper decisions, faster decisions. So that's part of me time. And I also make sure that, you know, I go to the nail salon and I'll sit down and I'll get a manicure. I'll sit down and I'll get a pedicure. The most important part for me is sitting in that chair and just kind of getting me a little massage.
You get that massage, yeah.
I'm serious, man. Like, hey, look.
You think it's a game, you get that massage. Like, listen, it's not a game.
Look, and she knows, like some people will get their pedicure, then they'll get up out of the chair, then they'll go over
Yeah.
to the table and get their and get the
Not
manicure.
Jay.
Not Jay.
Not
Jay
Jay.
sits in the chair the entire time, and I just keep resetting that system so it can really just help me kind of relax, man. But
Listen,
some of the other things I do is, I'll go to the park and read, or I'll go to the park and work. I just different things to kind of be in an environment that's healthy and conducive for me to have the clarity and the understanding that I need to take care of me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That is so awesome. You woke me up on that one. Listen, I was away, but I really woke up on that one because my massages and my mani-pedis are my self-care. That's when I go and have that mama me time. I even make sure I build in time for brunches and lunch with girlfriends. And let me tell you, if I'm starting to look ragged, it's time for me to go and get something done, because those are the things that make me happy. Now, the woman in your life, or the future woman in your life, is going to appreciate these mani-pedis that you're getting, because nobody, fellas, listen, we love you, but the rough is not where it's at. Listen, we want to know that you're manly, apply pressure, give us the tough handshake, but don't scratch us. Don't scratch us. So thank you for going and getting that done. Oh, I love to cut up, Jay. I love to cut up. And so, but
You know I know.
here's the deal. So as a successful single dad, you're running a business, you're a coach, you're a success expert. You work with entrepreneurs, and you work with people who don't consider themselves entrepreneurs, but they know they want more out of life. And so, I want you to tell us how we can reach you, how if some dads out there are like, you know what, I like what he said about, this university teaches you about life and helps you, level up. Where can they find out more information about you?
You can go to my website, which is www.mrjjackson.com. That's MRJAYJackson.com. You can find me on social media at MRJAY_Jackson. And if you want to, just shoot me an email, jay@mrjjackson.com. That works for me as well. If I can't get back to you immediately, give me about 24 to 48 hours and I'll give you a response.
Absolutely. I love it. Listen, I have a trick question, not a trick question, but a little caveat. I talked to you and I said, I want to interview you for my blog, and I want to talk about being a successful single dad. But one of the things I love talking about is dating and relationships. I did a tour this year called Brunch and Love. I started in Dallas and then went to DC, and we're going to re-up in the new year, and Atlanta and a couple other places. I'm excited about it. But we're always talking about how to help single moms prepare for love. What would be your tip for single dads about preparing for good love in their lives? Because some people have gone through some hurt. Some of us have the kids because the other person broke our heart. Some is because we just had irreconcilable differences. Some it was she was a no good scallywag, and I don't want to see another woman for the rest of my life. Not true, right? But in the moment, that's how we feel. So how would you talk to the single dads out there about getting ready and preparing for love?
First and foremost, know who you are. You have to know your strengths. You have to know your weaknesses. You have to know your triggers. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you angry? If you don't know yourself, go back to the old saying, know thyself. If you don't know who you are, if you're not okay with who you are, if you don't work through some of the issues and baggage that you had in your previous relationships, and I'm not just going to say the most recent one, you have to really go through and pull some of that stuff out and really decide, okay, what qualities and character traits am I going to maintain as I move forward into this future relationship? Because if you don't, you'll be looking at your new mate or your future mate as if she is, your ex, and you'll hold her accountable for things that she doesn't even have a clue as to why you're treating her this way. And I tell you guys, it's psychology. Your psychology has to be cleaned up. There's some things that are embedded in your subconscious mind that you really, really, really have to work through. Some of the things I work with my clients on is reshaping and shifting their paradigm. And that is just constantly pulling out, some of these superstitions, some of the old cliches that we don't realize even from our childhood that are holding us back and preventing us from being the man or the woman
Wow. Wow.
that we need to be to show up and really, and really serve that new mate, because we don't realize that, hey, you're there to make that individual's life the best possible life that you can
Yeah.
possibly make it. And I think if we show up as a servant to our mate, will be magical.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that is the thing. So some of those old ideas are, I need a wife to help clean the house. I need a wife to help raise these girls I got, this boy I have. I need instead of, I want to share my life with someone. I want to really be known, right, by someone, and I want to allow them to get to know me and also have that safe space and to grow. And also, like, we're responsible for helping the other person become better in so many ways by challenging them to level up, not in a, in a negative way, but we all want to meet the person that makes us say, wow, you're doing that. Oh, let me see if I can do it too, or let me level up in my, lane.
Kate, I want to, and that's one little quick thing before I go into that. I want to touch on. It's okay, guys, to be okay or in tune with your emotions and your feelings. We grow up, and when we're younger, if you fall and you hurt yourself, you're told, boys don't cry. Boys are supposed to be tough, and which is it's cool. You are supposed to be tough, but at the end of the day, if you don't understand what makes you angry, and angry is a healthy emotion, but we have to understand how to channel that anger in a healthy way, and then be able to articulate our feelings around that anger so that
Yeah,
it can be a healthy conversation. So I just wanted to touch on that.
I
But
love it. Thank you.
yeah, no doubt. But the part about challenging each
Mm-hmm.
other, absolutely. If your significant other doesn't challenge you in a healthy way, it's not a matter of belittling your significant other or bringing them down and telling them, hey, you're not doing enough. You have to be tactful in your approach and explaining to them, hey, look, what are we doing here? What are our goals? What is the vision for the future of our family? What legacy do we want to leave for our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids? And if every day we're not waking up figuring out, hey, who are we going to go out and slay, or what mountain are we going to climb, so that we can, put our family in a position so that our children's children don't have to experience this life the way that we have. If you're not challenging each other in that way, then this is just Jay's view and perspective on it all.
Yeah.
Yes, there might be some adjustments need to be made in this relationship, because hey, what are we doing here? Why
Yeah.
are we even in this
Yeah.
thing together?
I love it. And folks, there you have it. Boom, the successful single dad. We got a little bit more than just me interviewing you today, but I love everything you shared. And tell everybody one more time where they can come and find more of what you have to offer.
Yeah, so you can find me at my website, www.mrjjackson.com, or you can find me on social media at MRJAY_Jackson. You can also shoot me an email, j@mrjjackson.com. I'll give you a response as soon as I can, and I look forward to meeting everybody.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us over here, giving us that insight and wisdom. I know that this is going to bless so many, and I can't wait to chat with you again soon. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.